Today on today.
Oh, man.
This edition of Let's Talk Battle Rap, brought to you by the Gotham Podcast Studio Network. V, what's going on, man?
Chillin' player. How are you, my dude?
I'm great, man. I'm great. We're gonna do one of our favorite kind of episodes, the behind the curtain episodes. There's so many contributors in battle rap in the culture that just people know who they are. At least the
they
people
hear
that,
the names.
They hear the names here and there, and the artists and the staff, they know who they are, but the fans don't know who these guys are. Exactly. And these are the people that keep the engine running. Sometimes,
right.
Like
these are the cogs in the system.
When you think of a train running, man, like there's somebody putting the coal in the train. Right. There's somebody put the tracks on it. It's the train. It's not just the conductor.
It's everybody.
Yeah. So today on the show, man, we have director, content creator.
Yes.
You've seen him on ESPN, 30 for 30, and was the host of the WarReport Battle Cast radio show.
Yes, sir.
JB, welcome to the show, man.
Welcome to the show, player.
Gentlemen, I'm happy to be on this show. I can't tell you how excited I was to find out y'all were on the show.
I can't tell you how excited I was that you're a fan of the show.
Right?
Well, then we're both excited. What next?
It hit me one day when because we realized recently, right, that we have more of a listener base than follower base on social media. So we have like a lot of people that enjoy the show, but we don't know who they are. So they're like, damn, I would love to get some interaction with some of like our listeners. And you tweeted one day, you're like about to jump on this flight. And I think it was to like Summer Madness 7 or Nome. I forgot what event it was.
I believe so. I believe that was on my way to Vegas.
Yeah, and then you said, "Oh, about to listen to our podcast on the way." I'm like, "Oh, snap! I know this guy. He gets into the vision and in the zone on the way to
everything, man. Put it all together.
I do. It makes it matter to me just a little extra, because battle rap, working behind the scenes in battle rap is mad stressful. Mm-hmm. So then hearing people talk about an event like it's about to be the shit puts me right back in the right headspace to be in. Like because mostly I'm just anxiety about what's going to go wrong and if somebody's mic's going to cut out or whatever bad thing is going to happen. But then, I genuinely listened to your show to put me in the right spot. On the flight over, for real.
That's so dope, man. Because that's what we try to do with these playbooks. We try to make you feel like you're getting ready for that big playoff game or the big finals that's coming up. So to hear you say that, man, it's just like it makes us feel good, and we know that we're doing
humbling,
things
man.
for the right reasons, man. It's very
that.
humbling. So that's dope, man. Thank you so much for tuning in, my brother.
Absolutely.
Man, where to start? I have 1,000 questions for you because I love the guys that just contribute so much. Because you said it, you highlighted it. Working behind the scenes for a battle rap event is mad stressful. I would love to say it again.
Mad stressful.
Say it again.
It's absurd. It is ridiculous. It is like, I swear to God, this is what happens. Every battle rap event, I do a million different things, and I only figure out that I had fun on like Sunday morning when everything's already done. I have fun in retrospect in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, that was the shit. But then I forget the whole time that I was just chewing my fingernails off.
That's hilarious. I mean, man, I guess to kick it off, how did you even get down with the whole battle rap scene circuit? Like, what's your introduction to battle rap? Like, tell us the JB story on that one.
Did it start with Battle Cast?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I can kind of honestly, I feel like I could take that question one or two different ways.
Okay.
If you want to know what made me a battle rap fan, so I'm a Kansas City guy.
Another Midwest guy. Yeah.
Yep. Is somebody on this show from Kansas City? I saw a 913 number.
No.
Who was that?
Or was that just a connection? That's probably the studio number, maybe, or something, right? No. That's
okay. All right. Anyway, but yeah, I'm a Kansas City boy, but my roots are actually in St. Louis. Like that's where my whole family is from.
You must be excited.
The St. Louis movement was coming up. I would be the lone white kid, honestly, like in the back, at Hollow and Verb, shit like that. And
wow.
that
so you was there.
You were there.
Very exciting to me.
You were there live?
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
Hold on. I would love to hear.
Whoa.
I would love to hear the atmosphere of what it was like during that battle.
Please talk to us.
Okay, there was no room to move. Like I don't know if you've ever heard that story. There is no room. If you watch that footage, there is not 1 millimeter of air between any people in that space.
Wow.
There was nothing. You could not breathe. It's about as hot as it could possibly be. And I was looking around just waiting for people to pass out. Yeah, it was like that the whole time.
That was at the African Palace?
Like, honestly, that's St. Louis. Like, that's kind of how we move in St. Louis. Like, we're not going to not have the event, despite the fact that we might lose somebody.
Damn, man, that was such an epic battle, man. What was the atmosphere like during that battle when you were there, man? Like, did you feel like, yo, I'm actually watching a piece of history? Like, this is going down? Because it's so early in Averb's career. And you know what I mean?
Right.
And before you answer that, how drunk was Calico against GE?
Lost footage.
Oh, yeah, we know everything.
we know.
No, I don't have a Calico memory based on that event, but it was a ridiculous time. No, I mean, yeah, there are certain moments. I mean, you only know later for sure. You could tell yourself, oh yeah, I knew the whole time that everybody was going to think this was amazing, but we don't know, but I knew I was losing my mind. Because I mean that's a very special version of Averb. You know what I mean? Like he basically showed up to a battle. Like people show up to a battle with their crew, and like Tay-Rock might show up with 14 goons, right? Like Verb brought a city worth of battle rap fans to an event. You know what I mean?
Right. At the time where it wasn't really known for that. Super
salute to Hollow and them dudes for showing up. Like, they just flew in. Like, him and Rich just showed up. Like, that's, that's a special kind of bravery to just walk into that.
That's crazy. Yo, Hollow was like, they literally walked in and, as they were getting ready to battle, it's on you, Hollow. Hollow's like, what? No coin toss?
Nope.
Picture this. Hollow's backed into a corner, and St. Louis is looking at him. He just hears, it's on you, Hollow.
You know what's crazy? Because I'm pretty sure Rich Dollars went first, and they were like, And then Hollow had to kind of like fight it back. And the second round that Hollow had against Verb, I think that's what solidified his respect amongst almost everybody. Because they were like, you're the first dude that came out here from the Midwest, from New York.
Yeah.
And look, you got crazy in my city. I mean, I'd start Verb winning, but you got crazy in my city.
Came out here dolo and got crazy out there, man.
Yeah. Like that, like I'm saying, I don't mean that as hyperbole. Like that is a special kind of bravery to walk in and not just rap, because you could just rap your little mixtape bars or whatever. But he came in and made a conscious decision to cook, and he had that rebuttal in his head. But you could chicken out and just not say it and not run the risk of getting your ass beat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's one way to do it. That's a life decision you might not regret.
This was before when road games weren't as appreciated, and they were so difficult because it was still so new.
Yeah, it was like it was so damn early. I remember it just being a big deal. Like, yo, they're going to St. Louis. Like, they showed up to St. Louis alone.
For me, every sparked my interest in Hollow, because after he lost to Arsenal, he had like a battle with Amzilla, a freestyle battle.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
he won that battle. But after that, I'm still like, Then he battled Ilmac and then Verb within the same month.
Yep.
And I'm just like, wow.
It was ill, man. And that one, because for me, I remember seeing Verb, battle the SB battle, and then, you go back and you look, oh, what did he have before that? And you see the young Mace joint or whatever. But when he battled Hollow, a dude who you've been watching for a while, a dude who was on, 106 and everything, and you're like, hold up, this ain't a fluke. Like, this dude is nice, and he got math coming up. I was like, oh shit, man.
All you think to yourself sometimes is like the first two people that Verb battle weren't supposed to be his opponents.
Right.
Imagine if Head Ice caught that smoke and Charlie Clips caught that smoke.
Verb would have been God tier from the beginning. He would have been God tier super early, man. Damn,
but I mean, he built that. He built that. That ego, that villain look, So whoever it was that he smoked early, they were just going to be like, yeah, but he hasn't faced blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah yet. There's certain guys that just embrace that, and he more than just about anybody, really.
So JB, I would love to hear about your introduction with Battle Cast, man. I remember the first episode. I think you guys it was in black and white. You guys had the table, and what blew me away from the show was the audio because we have tons of battle rap shows, and I tune into them all. No offense, battle rap shows. I love you guys.
Right, we're all positive of it.
But Blog Talk Radio sometimes it's hard to be audible. It is what it is.
It's hard to roll up in your car with the windows down listening to it and everyone's spiking here and there and you gotta cut it off. Sounds crazy, B.
So then when we heard your show at the time, I was like, wow, this is the game changer.
Yeah. Okay, now here's a quick question, just so I'm clear. Are you asking me, when you say Battlecast, are you saying the Battlecast that was on the URL or the Battlecast that was on the War Report?
The one was on the War Report.
Okay. Cool, because there's people that don't even remember that side of things.
Like, I remember
that. The first time they ever saw me was when I popped up on URL. Okay. So here's the story with Battlecast. Essentially, just a big battle rap fan, right? So, but I work in video and audio production, right? That's what I literally just got done shooting a commercial before I picked up this phone.
Oh, dope.
So.
Get that bag, baby.
yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
For sure.
This battle rap money isn't that long yet. We all gotta have second jobs.
Oh, we see it.
But say what?
No, go ahead.
Basically it was this. I loved battle rap and I loved the content that was being created around it. I thought there were some good personalities, but the one thing I wasn't seeing was production value. They just nobody had really good lights. Nobody had really good sound. Nobody was using, multiple camera angles. There was something missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And while I knew I couldn't be this guy or that guy or this guy, I knew I could bring that. And honestly, the start of it came from, I was looking for somebody to host a show and I just wanted to produce the thing. Right? You guys were talking about me being behind the scenes. I was trying to start out behind the scenes.
Right.
But I just couldn't find anybody in Kansas City who wanted to do it and could do it and knew as much about battle rap as really, honestly, as I did. So, and if they were around, I didn't know them. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to host this show. And so that's really where it came from. So we just, moved all the furniture out of the way, picked the right wall and, lit it all up. And I called in a few favors for some people to, that I trusted to help me execute the vision. And then, what happened with that was I put the first one up just on my own YouTube channel and Norbs, I sent it out to a handful of people that, meant something to me in battle rap. And I think Norbs wrote me back 10 minutes later.
Wow. Damn.
And he was like, yo, my guy P is going to reach out to you. Okay. I didn't know P at all at that point. And then P hit me up I think 6 hours later. So that's about, I think that's about 10 hours total of it actually being on the internet at all. And they were like, yeah, we want you to take that down and then move over to the War Report, please. Damn. Real fucking cool about it. And so there was no reason for me to say no. So yeah, that's how the whole snowball got started.
I remember at the end of episode 1 when you were like, they're kind of like little bloopers. You cut. I think you know what I'm gonna get to. When you was like, female battle rap, I just can't do it. I can't watch female battle rap. It makes my balls itch. Oh. Pause, V. Did it before you did, but I saw that. I was like, oh, this guy's a comedian. This is the personality you kind of need. And there wasn't that many episodes of that version of it before you did the radio version, right?
That's true. Yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff that I made that just. As other things were happening in life that they just never came out. And I think honestly, one of the reasons I didn't really push the show as hard as I possibly could have was that at the time there wasn't really a way to go live on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really difficult to make something and have it be high production value and edit it and have the audio sound right and the whole thing and still have it be timely. It was really hard to do a full production and have it come out tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was, every event, there was all the dudes that I respect had their cameras out. They got their interviews in already. They got their shit done. They got it out. Right. It didn't have all the bells and whistles that mine did, but they were beating me to the punch every weekend. Every major event, they were there.
I think
so it was hard. Go ahead.
What's ill is at that time too, yours was more so like a long form. You know what I mean? Like more to the traditional podcast that I listen to, that I've been listening to for a long time. So my ears were trained for that. And like I get amped when I know I got a podcast that might only come out once a week. You know what I'm saying? But battle rap moves so fast that at that time, thinking about waiting for once a week to hear something clearly in the production value, it's like, yo, whatever, man. Get on your phone and put it up. I want to see it now. Like, what did Calico say? What did he say? You know what I'm saying? And now it's like people are catching up and they're like, oh, shit. I like hearing good quality and good content. I'll wait for that and make sure this is right. You know what I'm saying? So to say that is like you were a little bit ahead of your time, I feel like, for the long form version for battle rap.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
You said it best, V. Battle rap moves so fast.
Fast.
Like when I first started the show, it was like once a week, maybe twice a week. Then when we first linked up, it was probably like twice a week.
Yeah.
And it's been 29 days of August. We dropped 22 episodes in August.
Crazy.
A regular podcast will make this a nightmare. They're pulling their hair somewhere.
Yo, they wouldn't even think about it. They do 4 a month and call it a day, man. They call it a day. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. It's tough to make that decision. You know what I mean? And you kind of get dragged along. Like you didn't expect to be making that many, but you did. Yeah, and that's what you do now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's as long as you're having fun, it's like
that's
the biggest thing.
That's our number one rule. We always says like as long as it's fun, we're gonna do this. Like the minute this doesn't get fun.
I'll just become a spectator. So.
Yeah, I'm back to watching my pay-per-views from the crib and
facts, man, facts.
No, that's the exact right mentality to have.
And shoot, man, your radio when it then was on URL, it was interesting because the radio show was like, it wasn't so long that you couldn't like get a full analysis interview. But everything being 20 minutes was easy to digest, and you were smart. You got to like tackle every question with each person, and you got non-traditional battle rap answers out of them, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly like I a little bit regret that when we moved over to the URL channel that I didn't do more of those episodes because that was stupid fun. Like it was, and I knew that I would get more comfortable, honestly, with it over time. Right. But it's really hard. Like y'all are probably way better at it than I ever was, but it's really hard to get battle rappers to call you back. to be ready on time.
I ain't gonna call nobody out.
Yikes, man.
We got some no shows.
Facts, man. And then we just keep it moving and create some more content.
But I know what you mean. Yeah,
no,
I know
it's
what you mean.
Tough, man. So you just get frustrated. You're like, here I am. I'm ready. Got the camera on, got the mic on, got the whole thing. Yeah. And dude's like, oh, yeah. How about tomorrow? Like, right now. Right when you're about to go on.
Or how about, like, you've been in communication with a dude all day long. Every couple of hours you're touching base. Yeah, man, I'm going to get to the studio at this time, hit you up at that time. Everything's cool. Yeah.
And their phone dies.
Or you hit them up. It's like, yeah, we going on at 10. Nothing back. And it's like, bro, I'd rather you just not even talk to me the whole day than drag me along. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like a sad puppy at the end of the day. I'm like, you guys are wilding right now.
And when they come early, we treat them extra special.
Right? Yeah, facts, man. Everyone who's been to the studio knows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word.
No, man, absolutely. It's a stressful thing, and that's why I chickened out. I shouldn't have. I should have stuck with it. But that's. I'm not gonna lie. That was the big factor. Was chasing these dudes around. Like I'm a grown up. Like this, you're not gonna keep me waiting all that long. Eventually, I'll just lose interest.
Facts, man. Did you have any formal radio training before that, or did you just say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just get on"? You know what I'm saying? Get on the air, make it sound crispy, and just ask the questions I want to hear. I want the answers to.
A little bit, yeah. Like I did some radio training in college and stuff. Like, honestly, just for fun. Like, I grew up in a college town, and so there was a college radio station, and it was really easy to fake that you were already a student at the college. So even though I was 16, I just applied, and they were like, if he's applying, he must be a student.
Oh,
and I'm tall as shit, so they believed that I was 19.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I had a radio show for a couple years.
That's
not
crazy.
a student at the University of Missouri. I could say that now because I'm
that's
old and they can't come get me.
What was the show?
It was just a late night, or not a late night, but like a late on a Saturday show. I could just play what I wanted.
Like a little hip hop kind of show, or like what were you playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just a mix. Like I would just do literally whatever I wanted to do because they were. I mean, you know, the inmates were running the asylum over there, so it was just like you just show up and just play whatever you were in the mood to listen to, and your friends thought it was cool, or you know, you could basically DJ a party from like in absentia, like you could just not be there. But they could turn on your radio show.
Yeah, that's ill.
And they could, you know, give you requests, like call you at the radio station and give you requests for their party. So it was just stuff like that. So yeah, it was a lot of hip hop.
Man, you bringing me back, man, because I figure from your tone we're probably around the same ballpark age-wise, you know what I'm saying? A couple of young old heads over here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just remembering back around like the start of 98 when college just happened and all the underground radios and the hip-hop joints. And, oh, man, this is bringing me back, man. This is so dope having you on the show right now. You know how amped I'm getting.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, and that was about that time. That was when I was in high school, like, yeah, sneaking in.
Yo, most cats is like trying to drop out of school. He's like, yo,
let me sneak
I'm gonna sneak up into school, man. Oh man, college girls too. That's kind of crazy, class, man.
But I was
let's get a little college play up in here. I'm the DJ, baby. What's up? Right. So making that so you're rocking along. You jump on the URL channel.
Mm-hmm.
Any resistance from anyone who was already doing it? Like, hey, who's this guy that no one's seen in the culture?
The comments were hilarious.
Yeah, the comments were
somebody
crazy.
called him Mike P's father.
Wait, what was that?
I said the comments used to be hilarious. Somebody in the comments was like, URL got Mike P's dad to do a radio show.
Somebody said Pat Stay's dad, and I was like, I'm gonna take that as a compliment because I've been working out and like, cool. Like, I'll take that one.
Oh man. That's crazy.
No, but yeah, no, they were merciless in the comment section. Like,
there you go.
Like, has anybody ever burned you so bad that you had to give it to them, or you just like, yeah, that was pretty fucking good. Like that was really good, right there.
Yo,
like,
yeah,
we haven't gotten there yet.
I mean, in real life, it's happening.
Yeah.
But they were mean as hell. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of weird jealousy, like I don't know if jealousy is the right word, but yeah, I mean certain people pushed back. We don't have to say anybody who it was, but certain people pushed back, and it was like, who is this guy? We don't know this fucking guy, and whatever. And why is he getting a shot on the URL channel? That was the big part of it.
Right.
Was the fact that I was actually on the URL channel, and that's the first blogger, if you will, that was ever on the channel that had a had an established thing
show,
on the URL channel. They didn't like that.
And interesting. All right. At that time when you were doing the show, did you feel like there wasn't anything that you couldn't talk about that you didn't want to talk about? Like, did you feel limited, or did you feel like, yo, I'm just going to bring my battle rap perspective to this and just do me? Like, how was that, politics behind that when you're actually officially on someone's channel?
Yeah, honestly, I did feel that way, but it was only in my head. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Nobody ever came to me from URL and said, don't talk about this subject, don't talk about that subject, don't cover this other league, don't mention this battle rapper. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not getting along with him right now, don't this, don't that. Like, nobody ever did that. But I felt like nervous. I would have been fine. I'm sure I would have been fine. And if I had stuck to that show specifically, I'm sure that I would have just felt more comfortable over time. Yeah. I mean, a couple of good jokes about any subject gets it over. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But it was, if there was any restrictions, it was all in my head.
Gotcha.
Were you one of the first guys to cover Twerk after his PG?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, Twerk's first appearance on the channel. Really.
Yeah,
What was that like?
That is my guy, by the way.
What was that like from like that moment to like where he's at now? Are you like mind blown by it all? Like, oh my god, like just like the year you covered him, a year later he's unknown.
Yeah, and I was standing there. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like that. I mean, now, like I said before, sometimes you can watch something and not know that it's gonna be the biggest thing ever. You can feel like it is, but you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think everybody who saw that first Twerk battle were like, yeah, basically, if he picks up the pace a little bit, this guy is going to matter in battle rap. Now, I don't know that, I can't possibly say that I knew it was going to be everything that it turned out to be, but he definitely was supposed to be something important.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I remember when you first got a chance to speak. You spoke to him and Dougie, so that's pretty dope that you spoke to both of them.
Dougie kept me waiting. I'll say that publicly. Dougie kept me waiting for days. That twerk interview was done like the next day or the day after that, and then Dougie of all people was like, "Oh yeah, man, I'll get at you." It just had me sitting by the phone, man, sitting around hanging
like
out.
Brandy.
That's where it all began. That was the demise.
You should have never fucked with me.
If you watch that Dougie interview, like every time I did the Battlecast radio,
mm-hmm.
I started it with like, "Oh, this is the guy who used to sell me weed in high school or whatever."
Yeah.
And with Dougie, I just say, "This is the only guy who could get me up at 9 a.m. when I have the flu." And that's because we did that interview at 9 a.m. when I had the flu,
right.
Because I knew that was my only shot at getting him on, and we couldn't just profile Twerk,
mm-hmm.
honestly, without also profiling the other half of that battle, because then it's just bias. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's ridiculous. So we had to give them both some shine, but it was like Dougie kept me waiting.
That's ill, man. That's ill.
Damn, man. And I remember both those interviews, and I'm just thinking about it now, like at the time period when that happened, and then this is Gnome 6 being promoted.
Mm-hmm.
This is towards the end of 2016. Mike P, Daylight, and all these great battles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you just think to yourself like, damn, where did it go wrong? But it's like you see the battle, both these guys are getting some kind of shine. The Dougie just is no longer really around right now, or it's not as popular as Twerk. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Twerk had his own. He had his own trailer for that battle.
Yeah,
that's
crazy. And for the first time in a long time, like because I said battle rap has gotten so big to the point where, and oversaturated, to be honest, where it's to the point where every battler kind of has a voice already
mm-hmm.
coming up, where like even if you don't sound like somebody, your style's not like somebody, they'll compare you to somebody.
Right.
They'll say you're this person. Sure. Right.
There's so many molds to choose from.
Twerk wasn't comparable to anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, Twerk's a whole other thing. And honestly, the comparisons that he does get, I don't really see it. I've never understood the Prez Mafia thing. I don't really get that.
It's just the steps and
Do you get that vibe off him?
It's just the steps and the commas in between the words when
it's some nuances. Yeah. But I think whatever he did like, or if he did pick up anything, I think he's definitely got enough of his own thing going on that it's like, hey, you know what? Even if I brushed off some of the things that I like from him, I still got a lot of things that you like from me that I do that the other guys who you're saying I sound like can't do.
The one thing,
regardless, I still got to give him his props no matter what.
The one person that you would probably just compare stylistically is as close as him and Lou Castro, but they came up together.
Together, yeah.
So
with that, it's kind of like, which way do you go? If they're boys and if they were sparring with each other and they come up in a crew, or it's like it's gonna happen. It happens with regular rappers. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to take your talents to the forefront and execute. And he, when he's on his A game, he's been known to execute, and execute well. So definitely got to give him props for that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can't. I mean, I don't know. I think we're getting pretty picky when we start saying, that Twerk and Lou Castro aren't allowed to sound a little bit alike.
Yeah.
Or that Twerk is ripping off Prez Mafia.
Yeah.
Like, really? That's what we got time for this week? Like, that's the conversation you want to have in your life? You ain't got nothing better to think about?
But it does get crazy when you start to see miniature twerks just popping up. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like you can definitely pinpoint it and point that out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, twerk is
Do
kind of
we
like,
have those now?
They're there.
They're
Like
there.
I
Oh my
don't.
God.
You know those names. I just
sure
choose
we
not
do.
to
I just
remember, but
honestly
they are
hadn't thought about
there.
it.
I've seen them, and it's just like wow. Like when you're rapping and you're writing it, do you not realize that you're doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Not comparing these two guys, but it's just the type of content they ushered in for people to kind of like create a template and try to follow. You can also think about like when Chilla Jones and JC battled.
Right.
He literally opened the whole ocean wave of people to start completely scheming in all their battles, and now they're taking all these things and break every single subject and breaking it down to its full matter.
Yep.
But not everybody can be as well executed with the wordplay as he does or deliver it the same way. But the template's out there. So now everybody tries to take the template and
then there's a surf template, you know, the way you hold your gun and your delivery and stuff. But it's like you still got to have that same aura, presence, and energy to deliver it like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting watching these little templates get molded and then little styles switching up from that style and becoming another style, you know, which is all a part of everything. It's like martial arts a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You study one thing and then you might pick up something from there. And the next thing you know, you make your own little twist to it. You know what I'm saying? But now with the days of everything being captured from day one, you know, it's hard to see someone come to you fully polished now.
Yeah, I'm not mad at templates because of how difficult it is for a brand new battle rapper to break through. Like it takes, you got to think right now in 2018 we have probably like 4 or 5 guys that we say, yo, these guys are creating a legacy and these guys are they're the next generation, right? The handful of guys, A-Ward, Geechee, Twerk, Loso, B-Dot, and that's just 5 of how many battle rappers out there. There's so many, so it's so hard for an up and coming battle rapper to just to like fully be original, not say things that hasn't been said, take the right path. They gotta have 5-10 battles for a PG. Then they gotta do 2-3 PGs. Then they gotta do they gotta show out on a Born Legacy or a Survivor Series, and then they get the call.
Hey, maybe,
and then maybe
they might get the call,
and then they get the call, and then they fail in the call, and then nobody wants them anymore.
right. They did all of that for.
But I say that to say this: I'm not mad that people follow these templates because there's also influences. That's okay. But I feel like you can take the template and be in the category without being the MC.
Hey, listen, I always say it like this: there was Mace, and then Fab sounded like Mace, then Lloyd Banks sounded like Fab, then Lloyd Banks found his own route. Then there was a bunch of other little Lloyd Bankses. You know what I'm saying? So you can take a template. Improve on it, become a whole completely different other entity that's fire within its own, and then influence other guys who take from you and then become fire on their own. So this happens all the time, but I just hate to see the guys who just decide to wake up and say, this is the style I'm just gonna take. You know what I'm saying? Have no passion for nothing. Just decide like, I'm just going to take the style and just go show up and just go battle randomly because I want to be lit. You know what I'm saying?
It gets interesting when you put new guys in categories. Like you say, this guy's coming up. He reminds me of this. But
he's a schemer.
He reminds me of this. But then you put him in a box with a couple names of people that's like, yo, this will all be great style matches because their styles all complement each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, battle rap is established enough at this point where we're going to have archetypes, right? Like we're going to have punchers and we're going to have schemers and we're going to have performers. Now, obviously the best ones are kind of all of those things, which is why we love Geechee and Twerk and A-Ward and cats like that, because they can exemplify all of those archetypes. But yeah, there's going to be more than one guy who throws, a punch every 4th bar. There's going to be that guy. Well, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you just got to be special, though. But JB, going back to the technical side, so you're rocking on the podcast, you're doing your thing with URL. How did you make the transition to the visuals on URL and stuff like that, and the sounds and being live, and then what was that transition like? And what was your first event also? Okay,
so the first event when I was, I don't know, an affiliate, an associate, whatever, part of an extended family, was when I was on WarReport. I went to Perfect Day to Die.
The infamous Perfect Day to Die.
Perfect Day to Die. Yeah. And however you feel about that, So I went to day one. I had a camera on the inside, and I was shooting behind the scenes stuff just because I was like, that's another thing that nobody was doing. Like nobody was getting like dope, just extra stuff and making a cool edit out of it and, put some music over it and chopping things in. I really wanted to make like little documentaries, you know what I mean? Again, like raise the production value and make things special. So that's what I was kind of doing. And day one, I don't know how everybody feels about it, but it was a little low energy, right? And I was worn out, and I went back out to Jersey to stay with my people out there, and I wasn't going to go to day two. And then P, all credit to P, who is really, really like him, Norbs. I mean, these are sort of my conduit into everything that I did. P especially, because he just advocates for me at every turn. But he called me in, and I was sitting out in Jersey, like in my socks and my boxers. And he was like, so you're coming to day two, right? And I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, I got something for you to do, so I need you to come. I'm like, cool. Like,
they're like, I wasn't asking.
I've never met that dude, but you don't turn him down. You know what I mean?
No one says no to the URL.
Yeah. No, and that's my guy. So, like, he just sounded like he really needed me to do something. So I'm like, okay, throw my clothes on, get on the train, get over to Black Bear, and he put me in the hallway right outside the event, and all the battle rappers that came through the event, and then some who were just at the event, he had me sit them down there and shoot down the hallway and do interviews, kind of introducing all the new guys to the fans. So that was Av's first interview, and Mike P, one of his first interviews on the URL channel. You can look that up. And I shot interviews basically all day. Like I barely watched any of the actual battle because I was just working all day. And that was my first like on set at the event where I had like a job to do.
Right.
And then and so I would show up just regularly and just make stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of things I shot ended up in trailer footage and promo footage, stuff like that. And then after the radio show was going, P hit me up and said, so they had just done Born Legacy 4, which I think I was there for. I swear to God, I do so much of this stuff, I lose track of which ones I was at or which ones, you know what I mean?
Which was which?
Yeah, really. But anyway, they had just done Born Legacy 4, and Born Legacy 5 was ramping up, and he wanted me to do the lighting. Because if you watch Born Legacy 4, the lighting's a little wacky. Like if people get to the edge of the stage, like the light gets way, way brighter.
Right.
And it just didn't have good balance. And that was a big part of the reason why they liked the show is the audio was solid and the lighting was right. So I kind of came on to Born Legacy 5 as sort of like a co-director and the lighting engineer to get all that stuff right. And so that was kind of my first event that I sort of directed. And then I had been doing a lot of editing at that point. I edited a fair number of PGs and stuff, and a few of the bigger events, or I would do like some of the battles on the bigger events. And then I edited probably about half of the battles from Born Legacy 5. And so that was my first little test, So Beasley and Smack and them could really see what I could do under pressure and see if we wanted to go forward with it.
Interesting. That was a dope little card too, man. That card had Saga and Tink, JC,
Saga and
Trez.
Tink throwing up off the back of the stage like an actual demon.
Yo, that's like he sounded like he threw up a microwave, man, when that shit happened.
Twerk QP.
Yo, what was that like?
It was terrifying.
Yo, the cleanup
cleanup
must have been crazy for that joint, man. After Tink threw up that microwave, man. Shit was crazy.
Here's the fact of the matter. Okay, that venue the stage is a little bit weird, right? Like, because it's a really tall stage, right? Which is why we could pack like 600 people into that, and we did, by the way.
Right.
Which is why there were people passing out, and probably why Tink threw up, because it was dumb hot in there. But the stage is really, really high, and there's only a few steps up to it, and the stage does not go all the way to the back wall, and it doesn't go to either of the side walls.
That sounds dangerous.
So when Tink started not feeling 100%, he turned around, and I don't know if y'all have ever been near that guy. He is a massive human being.
Huge. He looks huge.
Right? Yeah, it does not come across on footage like he is just a whole lot of person. So he just turns around and starts walking toward the back of that. And you can hear people like, I don't know if it came across in the footage, in the venue, you can hear people going, oh, because they're falling off the back of the stage.
Oh, that's what was happening?
Yeah, he's pushing them, just not meaning to hurt anybody. He's just trying to get away.
I don't know what's more epic, that. I don't know what's more epic, that or the stage at Traffic Day 1 falling.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he broke the stage. Yo, okay, so now, see, this is so dope. This is why I'm glad we have you on the show, because we can only see, from our screen or whatever. I thought he just threw up so hard that it just hit the ground like that. But we're hearing that people are falling.
No, he was throwing up. I mean, he's 6.5 feet tall. So he's throwing up 6.5 feet down, and then the stage is another 6.5 feet. So that man is throwing up 13 feet to the ground. Yo, that's why you can hear it, and it sounds like a damn waterfall.
Oh my god!
Because of that.
That's nutty. And I guess also at that event, that was, I guess, Twerk's coming out party. Because
that's one of his breakouts.
Yeah, that was a breakout. He had his first, I guess you could say, super legit, vet in QP and all that, and he showed out in that battle. I remember that one too. That was a that was one of his shining moments.
That's a funny thing. Like, I mean, trust me, I am not comparing us, but I was talking to Twerk like a few days ago, and we have these weird moments that kind of coincide, right? Because that's one of his big tests, and that was one of my big tests, right? They were like, "Okay, you got to do this."
Right.
Okay, let's do it. So that was his. That was him and QP when that battle was fire, and then that was kind of O-Red getting welcomed back.
So against Av.
Yeah.
JC and Chef Tress. Chef Tress had a good breakout too.
That battle's at 1 million now, right?
Like,
it just hit 1 million recently.
Yeah, congrats to them, man.
Yeah, man.
Say that again?
No, I was just saying JC and Tress hit 1 million just recently, just last month.
Did it?
Well deserved.
It deserves every bit of that. That's a fire battle.
Yeah, because battles aren't hitting 1 million like that anymore, man. Like, it's hard for battles to crack that 1 million now.
I mean, well, it's part of the modern era, but yeah, I mean, the pay-per-view, the pay-per-view hurts the view count. It doesn't hurt the view count. Ultimately, like, everybody's probably better off for it. But yeah, I mean, the YouTube numbers don't look the same.
Right.
Yeah, nobody's gonna have the metrics like they did in the past. So like vets will always, where's your 1 million view battle? Yeah, well, when you was battling, pay-per-view ain't exist.
All right. And there was only 12 of y'all.
Only 100 people can see your battle until 6 months later.
Right.
Or we had to split up the rounds into different YouTube videos. So you're counting all the views on every battle.
You gotta think to yourself,
on every round.
Twerk and Geechee still don't have 1 million view battle.
Right. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
And they're the two new.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Out of all the popularity, everything that's going on, all the talk, like, they still haven't cracked 1 million yet. Not to say, they're not putting in their work and that they don't deserve it, but it's just the way things go.
These
now.
Millions count so much more now because they're literally made from the mud.
If you get 1 million now, you better put that plaque up, man. You better put that platinum plaque up for real.
Oh my God, I would make a T-shirt and wear it every day to say I have 1 million view
platinum.
You know what? But you know what's the sad thing about it is that I talked about it a lot of times on the show, and me and V's talked about it off air as well, like the stats of like the view count, right? Because a lot of the guys that got these 1 million views was the early URL days, so they kind of got out the mud as well. And there's only really 10 battle rappers that right now to this day can average 1 million views. So that means if they battle, they're guaranteed to get $1 million. And those the handful of guys it's a really small club. Conceited, Hitman, Tay-Rock, Calico, Surf, Mook, Lux, Shotty Horror, Enigma, and they're not even from the U.S.
Wait, Shotty Horror and who?
And Enigma. He's from the Philippines.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know who he is. Yeah. Okay.
And
wow.
That's the club. That's it. Those are the guys that can average 1 million views. Arsenal. I almost forgot Arsenal. Yeah.
Arsenal, the guy. Well, DNA too, right?
Yeah, DNA. He averaged 500,000 views. But
what's
what's special about DNA is that he has 120 battles.
Right.
The guys that average 1 million views,
they got like 20 something, 30.
All the guys that average 1 million views have 30 battles or less.
Right.
Tay-Rock has like 32 or so, but like that's just now.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think we'll ever see another battler to this date that'll average 1 million views again.
That's gonna be hard.
No, I can't imagine.
Yeah, because the twerking,
which is weird because it's only. I mean, it at least has the potential to only get more popular. But you're right, we might not average out. We might end up on HBO or Showtime or something, but we might not be getting million view YouTube.
I think it's gonna have to turn to like how the music industry now got different things. Before it was just RIAA, and it was like, hey, did you ship out 500,000? Did you ship out 1 million?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're gold, you're platinum. Now it's like, okay, you streamed here, you played there, you got your YouTube clicks, you sold this merch. I think we're gonna
your
have
mom really liked it.
right. I think we're gonna have to find some new metrics, man. I think Battle Rap Stats gonna have to find some new ways of like trying to count these little views up.
But you know what's special too? Because then there's the guys that average half a mil, right? Mm-hmm. But they have such a long catalog of battles. Yeah. And that's why sometimes I argue about DNA being one of the greatest battlers, because he averages 500,000, has 120 battles, has been battling for almost a decade, is getting better, and more importantly, but he's not even 30 yet, and he has the second most individual million view battles. Arsenal has 23, and Clips and DNA are tied at 21.
Is that right?
Yes, that is right. It's crazy.
History over here, man.
This is Young Stats right now.
Young Stats right now.
Shouts to Battle Rap Stats.
I mean, I hope this doesn't feel like shade on anyone else, but it feels like DNA deserves that the most. You know what I mean? Just because he's worked so hard.
I have him there personally.
And he's always prepared.
I have him there. Some people want to be like, he's not lyrically the best. He don't need to be lyrically the best.
He does everything.
He's also the second overall most viewed battler in the world. Second.
That's why I don't understand when people like throw shade or throw hate at him. I'm like, yo, he's doing this for a reason. Like, it's not by accident. When you do it that many times, it's not by accident.
Oh, and by the way, he wins.
Yeah,
it's not like, because no offense to
trying.
No shade to some of the guys that average 1 million views, but some of those guys are Mr. Debatables
all day, man.
Oh, you think?
All day in the hallway, man.
But so it's unfortunate. It's gonna be a lost era. The metric of the views. So I think vets can no longer use that as an argument. Oh, where's your views? Man, we're in two different eras. It's like, it's in sports. The eras change, the rules change, the things change, the climate of the nature of the sport changes to the point you can no longer compare the two.
Right.
Exactly.
And I mean, whatever. I mean, yeah, but the old, I mean, it's battle rap, so it's made for arguments. So the older guys are never gonna let it go, right? But yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna see more battle rappers right now buying their first new car off battle rap money. So you tell me who's winning.
Facts.
I hope we see that, man. I'm really hoping for the day where, a battle rapper can just be a battle rapper and like literally, hey man, I bought a crib, you know what I'm saying? I bought a car, because it's like the popularity doesn't match the finances right now. And granted, you got to do other things and you got to create more energy for yourself and have things going.
Something has to get sacrificed in the midst.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, you ain't going to get that bread by just doing the same things. You know what I'm saying? Either someone's going to have to come down or someone's going to have to come up, one way or the other.
A lot of the biggest pots of money that was given out in battle rap in the past and even now, they come with official stamps of wins and losses. Mm-hmm. And some of the guys have gotten paid the most, and some performances that we're not happy with, they got wins. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like down the line, you know what? Shout out to Premier Battle League out overseas. I love what they're doing, and I cannot wait for the U.S. to say, we need to do this, because it will change the dialogue of battle rap. It'll make it intuitive. It'll make it interesting. It'll make it easy to digest, And as well, then you can finally put the wins and losses of things. You put a team of battlers.
You call it a sport.
You give it a manager. You set certain events for the year. You make it like a season. And now you have a whole dialogue. Who's a good manager? Who's the next person on this team? Oh, these two teams are matching up. How does this style and this style match up? Oh, this team's in the lead. This team's losing. This is the worst team of the league right now. A whole bunch of things come into it. And I think, the revenue will be there for it. But that's just me as a fan speaking. I can dream.
Thanks.
So that's okay. So that's Premier Battle League. That's their whole breakdown. That's what they're doing.
So what they do over there is that they have 5 teams. Each team has 4 MCs and a manager. And the manager is probably like a veteran battle rapper. Mm-hmm. And then they'll have these events, match like day 1, match day 2, and the teams will go off against each other. So they'll have 3 people from each team to play to battle each other at the events. Each team has its own para, right? So they all have a merch.
Their own merch and all that.
They have merch, they have scarves.
Yo, they got fly scarves, jerseys,
they got
hats. Like it's
so when the guys battle, they have to wear the merch. Mm-hmm. When they go to these events, some people are cheering and they have their own chants.
It's like being at a soccer match almost, man.
It's incredible. And this is from me watching from the screen. Imagine being there.
It'd be nutty, man.
Yeah.
Nutty.
So that's crazy.
So I just think,
yeah, I like that.
I love it.
That. I don't know if we'd get, I don't know if we get these guys to sign up for that shit. But
it would have to be a whole brand
new. As a fan, I'd like it.
It would have to be like a whole brand new situation out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I think the guys out here just been eating so fat off the land for so long that it's like, man, we ain't going to that structure. But if it happened, it would be kind of crazy.
And you know what makes it cool too? Then you got to think about maybe some of the chemistry side of things where like you got to think about this, right?
Teammates and shit.
Yeah, you create teammates. You see who's a good teammate, who's a bad teammate.
Who's the Draymond? Who's the
But what's cooler, but this chemistry was interesting me. This would interest me. The chemistry between the teammate and the manager.
Right.
Because now in battle rap, so many up and coming battlers or battlers that like I won't call them mid tier, but they're just breaking through the scene. Mm-hmm. They look for the vets in a way, kind of like for mentorship. Like, how do I get to Summer Madness? How do I get to Gnome? How do I get a million view battle?
Right.
How do I catch my first body? Yeah. And this is a perfect way where you put like a guy like a Mav, a guy like a Cortez. You know what I'm saying? All these vets. To be with 4 young guys that are really talented and say, I'll teach you the ways. I'll teach you what I've done. I'll pass on my experience. And then you get to see if that vet is really successful in breeding his lessons.
I mean, not for nothing. I know URL probably would not do it.
They probably wouldn't.
Do it. But
we're fantasizing, but I love this.
Just go on this ride with us, JB. Just imagine.
I'm here.
Just imagine if Norb said, you know what? Norb said, yo, fuck this shit. I'm gonna get 4 vets, right? And on top of that, I'm going to get 2 of my NFL guys and I'm going to get 2 of my top rapper guys. They're going to be like my PG owners in a sense, right? And then you get 2 super vets to be the managers. And then you got the little PG roster and they all got to fight it out. And we know we're going to this PG event, whatever, every 2 months, whatever it is. And these guys got to go at it. You got the main rapper dudes, you got the vet managers, you got money on the line, side betting, all this action. Everyone has to take a win or a loss. You either fall off or you keep moving, and you create a crazy atmosphere.
I mean, let me step it up one notch.
Bring it up, brother.
What if they start doing franchise? What if they do franchise tags and they put one battler assigned to the team, right? Uh-huh. And so they have it like 4 slots. They have 3 guys, but the 1 slot is open to PG that finally graduates.
Right.
So all the teams have 1 PG, the two guys that are in rotation, and the franchise tag guy. So the franchise tag guy will be there next season.
Right.
The 2 guys are in rotation. They go back to being free agents.
Free agents is just bouncing.
And then the PG just keeps coming in every year. Yeah, oh my God! Come on, somebody take this idea and make it happen.
Please, man, just run with this already. Like this, you gotta. It'll be more incentive, more competition, man. And I think just getting those guys involved and bringing that structure, it brings like a sense of competition to it, man.
Are we dreaming too much, JB, or does this really sound like this could really be a good idea?
No. There's a lot of valid points in that. I mean, especially like when you kind of put it in the form of the PGs, because I think sometimes, I mean, yeah, it's sort of tryouts for the URL, but it could always be amped up. We need to find a way to get people to pay more attention to the PG guys, have their favorite PGs, and have it build. You know what I mean? It takes a lot sometimes to build those guys' brand. So if it was already kind of a spectacle, that makes a lot of sense to me.
And that's why
I don't think it's just going to happen tomorrow, but
and that's why that draft that for the last PG, France did a mock draft where he picked like, the top 3 and then the second round with the next top 3.
Right.
So it's like turning it even more into sports. You got the next PG coming up. How many guys on that list? Do we do another mock draft?
For me personally, like you have at this point, if you really want the culture to move, because like you can't be a fan of a battle rapper, you got to be a fan of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a fan of the MC, support the music, merch, and all that good stuff. But as far as the culture of battle rap, you have to love the culture for what it is as a whole, and it is what it is. The mileage is there for a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are about to be a decade in. 30-plus battles in a year or 2 from now, they might all be gone. What's going to happen when Tay-Rock is gone, Hitman is gone, Math is gone, Cortez is gone, DNA is gone, Arsenal is gone, Shotgun Sugar is gone, O-Red is gone, Ill Will is gone, JC is gone.
Sounds like a nightmare. Don't say it.
What are you going to do when all those guys are gone?
Don't say it.
I mean, I get it. There's no retirement in battle rap. But what's going to happen when like that date comes and they're chasing their old performances for the rest of their career at this point? You need to look into the new talent.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. And it's not a sport, okay? Exactly, it's not exactly a sport. I know we all promo it as a sport,
but it's an art form.
It's an art form. Yeah, it's really, really angry slam poetry, right? But so it's not a sport exactly, right? Like you don't exactly have an age where you're done. You don't exactly age out, but you can lose a step. Like, so it does bring it back around to the sports. You can lose a step. And, yeah, some of these guys will lose a step over time.
Yeah, the mileage.
And, we do need a way. I mean, honestly, it's what I think about the most in battle rap is what do we do as certain guys get bored with it or, have another kid or whatever that brings them away from battle rap focus and like how do we fill that gap? Like who, not just who with, but what kind of energy replaces them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I look into tomorrow all the time. I look at a lot of these up and coming guys. I study a lot of their battles, how they perform, where they're battling, who they're battling, and some guys have good stories. Some guys have talent. Some guys are just not gonna break through, and that's okay because the market is oversaturated. But I think about tomorrow, and I'm thinking to myself, where am I going to be at in the next 2 years? I've been following battle rap since 2005. Where am I going to be at the next 2 years when everybody that I grew up watching is no longer playing?
Right.
I mean, no longer battling. I'm sorry, not playing, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Thanks.
I also hear man's heart breaking as you describe all of these battle rappers.
Yeah, man, he's quiet. He's quiet now.
2 years? It would dark. That is a dark prognosis.
That
right there,
would
my
be,
guy.
man. Because
2 years from now, JC's not going to battle rap.
He named a lot of names, man. A lot of top guys.
A lot of them will probably still be around, but you never know.
Right. And the great thing for me is like, you got a guy like Geechee who's pretty fresh, and he's one of my favorite guys. You know what I'm saying? Like when they say his battle is dropping, I'm immediately clicking on it. Like I'm not waiting. You know what I'm saying? So there are new guys who are piquing my interest, but it's like if all of those guys would have decided, if all of those guys, and I wish it happened to all of them, I wish they all step into a situation where it took them away from having a battle rap and they have money in their pockets and their family taken care of, and that would be wonderful for them. But the art form itself, it would suffer if all of those guys just disappeared and never came back, like right now. So I think, we just have to continue to breed hungry MCs who are all in it for the right reasons, and it's like you can't just show up and look cool. Like you're gonna take a L, you're gonna have a W, you're gonna have to put it up on the board.
All three of us have watched battle rap. All three of us watched battle rap in '09. It was just so beautiful to see like St. Louis coming to the scene, Chicago, Detroit, then Jersey, right? And then you had Tay-Rock coming into the scene. And then a wave later, some of the grind time guys decided to travel over. Then John B. Magic, Rosenberg Raw, Young Cannon. And then a year later, what happens? Then we have Chilla Jones and Bill. And the years keep going. You could keep adding names. And then we didn't know Rookies versus Vets, by the way, because like Rookies versus Vets was a great card, and I did like that class.
Talk about it. That might be the best event in years.
Yeah, that class was great.
We've had some dope ones. Rookies versus Vets was a whole special thing.
That shit was literally like sink or swim for these guys. And some guys they drowned. It's okay. We were expecting it, but some of the guys swam through. And look, T-Top and Breeze, look at them now.
Yeah, I mean, win, lose, or draw, I think for me that card was pretty one-sided. You know what I'm saying? Like the majority of the vets.
I had a few rookies winning.
Who you had winning?
Mr. Wavy B. Shine.
Yeah, he did. Sean was rapping hella fast that battle.
Sean was just trying to get it over
what
with.
the fuck? Yeah, like that was kind of crazy. He was like,
Yeah, I mean, the energy of rookies versus vets.
that was a
is an
lot of
odd
energy
one
there.
because
Yeah.
if they pretend like they don't care about you, then at least a portion of fans don't care about you, right? Like if they're only gonna little brother you the whole time and not actually bar your life away and not really try to run you over and spank you and make you go back down to the PGs and work your way back up, if they just kind of show up and shit on your reputation and walk away, it doesn't work. But if they meet you head on, then it's fire. Right. And your career gets a bump.
And all the rookies have to do is look good. Because if they didn't get killed but look good, they're going to be like, I want to see him again.
Right, if you don't die and it's your first time on a somewhat big stage versus big names and you survive, fuck it, come back out. You know what I'm saying? But if you just get killed, it's like they're going to be like, hey,
DNA beats work, but chess. DNA beat chess, but when you watch the battle, where are you watching for? I'm watching for chess.
Right, yeah. Chess.
Absolutely.
I'll say
because you're watching chess learn a lesson, and you're watching like from DNA, but you're also like you're signed up for his personality. Like there's something like you're rooting for chess in that moment.
Exactly.
The man threw up, and everybody
he fought through that.
Cheered when he said, "Pardon me."
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That was one of the most awkward battle rap moments in history.
And then to think
he was gargling,
and to think he went to school the following Monday.
It's just crazy. Yo, the puking history at URL is like. I say this when they do puke, it's monumental pukes, man. Like you'll never forget them on URL. Tay-Rock's got one in his belt too, man. He's got a monumental puke in a battle. That's just crazy, man.
See now one of my main responsibilities these days on most of the cards is for the live event. I'm doing the sound.
Right, yeah. Tech9 was shouting you out, saying, "JB, great job. He's doing a great job, JB," and all that. So
yeah, that's my guy. We've taken a few plane trips together. Like for some reason, even though we do not live in the same space, like we just end up on these same planes. Like
who picks up the Duce bill
through Philly? So we're sitting there and like champion, like hey, what are we doing? Like
you guys link up on delayed flights. That's what it is.
Plus I also direct the I direct the face-offs. So that's we bond during that time too. I'm trying to make sure nothing's going wrong.
Great job
the thing about being an audio guy, I don't want to hear anybody throw up. Like that's the last thing I want to hear in my life in the middle of a live event. I don't want to hear Hitman Holla go, "Oh God," and then. I got headphones on, man. I don't want to hear that.
I never want to hear Shotgun Suge throwing up. I tell you that much, man. I don't want to hear him.
Oh dear God.
Well, all right. So since we're talking about the sounds and being responsible for that, talk to me. Okay, let's say, all right, it's SM7. You know you're doing the face-offs. By the way, great job on the face-off for SM7. I love the way it looked.
I appreciate
the boxing gym, the back and forth, the two angles. The atmosphere was great. Even the battle rappers, like it was just a different energy from the previous one. I really enjoyed it. Talk to me about the night before. You're at home. You're packing up. What's going through your mind? What are you double checking? What? Just talk to me about the night before.
Oh my God! So you just want to give me PTSD? Like that's what you want to do with that question? You want me to?
Hey, listen.
Want me to think through the most stressful day of my life?
You don't eat till Sunday, right? Okay. You don't eat till Sunday.
Say what?
You don't eat till Sunday.
A little bit, yeah. If you ever hear somebody throw up during the face-offs, it's JB. Like it's me. I'm the one doing it. It's like. Oh, the YouTube went down and they're roasting me. Like that'll be.
Oh man, you be getting that heat, man.
No, yeah, but no. So yeah, the night before the flight is just I just pour over the list of all the equipment because this is just me. Like I don't have I have a team. In general that I work with, and I want to shout them out later. But so for the face-offs, for the most part, it's just me. So I'm bringing all my lights, cameras, computer, the live switcher, the all the audio gear, because usually I'm doing the face off and then I'm doing the audio the next night.
Right.
So I'm bringing all that stuff, about 200 feet worth of Cat 5 cable to hook into the internet.
Wow.
Then like extension cables. Like I genuinely drag about 150 pounds, no exaggeration, about 150 pounds worth of equipment on the plane with me every time.
Damn. How many, what do you call those? The crates or how many containers are you taking with you when you're on the plane?
I take 3 50-pound Pelican cases with me every time.
Sheesh, man. That's crazy. It's like you're going on
tour.
It's
ridiculous.
Damn,
it's a ridiculous. I feel so silly, and people just stare at me dragging all that stuff to the airport.
Bro, I've seen a couple of pictures on your Instagram, man, where you're at the airport. You're like going to this venue, and I'm like, I do not envy this brother right now, man. Like that's a lot. And then I'm thinking, what if you forget something, and you gotta head out to Guitar Center or go here or go there, and I'm like, yeah, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, no, that's the worst part, because if I forget what, like, it's all critical. You know what I mean? There's not like a whole lot of extra stuff like that I could do. If I forget a camera, or if I forget the cable that goes from the camera to the switcher, or I forget the cable that goes from the switcher to the computer, or I forget the adapter that goes from the cable into the computer, like, we don't have a face-off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I'm sweating. Like, I'm genuinely sweating every time. And this is on top of the fact that usually, like, P. Beasley are calling me the whole time, like, hey, you know what I was thinking? They always throw me a curveball in the 11th hour.
Oh, man.
Every time. Like, JB, hey, what if we had a mic out in the crowd and they could ask questions? Yeah, sure, no problem. Like, let me just go
get another 30 feet of wire.
Hold on. V, can you do your best Beasley impression?
Yeah. Hey, JB, how are you? It's me. Yeah.
JB, my guy.
My guy. You think we can get one in the crowd?
Here's what we're thinking. Yeah. Goddamn. No. I love that man. But yes, him and P, they just torture me, man. Because, okay, on a certain level, I think they're trying to figure out how far they can push me before I lose my mind. Because I don't. I've never snapped at any of them. But there must be a threshold. Like, I'm not a saint. Like, I will at some point scream on these people, but I haven't done it yet. But I think they're curious to find out at what point I just tell everybody to go to hell. And
JB's
just
gonna go. I got a gun so big. It's gonna be crazy.
Got a gun so big it'll shoot your pay-per-view.
Yo, speaking of that, what volume was that when
volume
the
two?
Was that volume 2 when the pay-per-view got attacked and all that?
Oh my God!
Were you there for that?
Volume 2, we were in Orlando.
Was it
that
just
was the first
Code Red Critical Cycle?
Yeah.
Yikes!
Say it again.
Talk to me about that one. How crazy was that when that happened?
That was insane, right? So, all right. So we do the face-off the night before. That was the first face-off we ever did, and it was also the most viewed face-off we've ever done. Like, there was so many people, and it was in that same studio where we were shooting Smack Volume 2. We're in Orlando. Everybody's in a good mood. In the morning, we get up, we have breakfast, go back to the venue or the studio, and we're in there. Everything's going good. The preview show is going good. Champion's in there. Glue Easy comes in, starts telling jokes, and is just like slaying everybody. Everybody's in a good mood. And I don't even remember. You guys tell me, at what point did everything go haywire?
After Mike P. and
after the first battle.
So it was in between the battles?
That first battle happened and went down.
It's kind of choppy.
Yeah, I lost one of the rounds, just went choppy for me. And then after that, shit went left, and then they started replaying the battle. And what was the what was the thing that kept popping up on the screen?
404 boys.
404 boys. Yeah, the 404 boys kept popping up on the screen, and we're like
404 boys.
Well, you know, on the internet page is like 404. We call them the 404 boys.
You know the 504 boys, but it was like 404
Or
error,
the
whatever.
Or was it 414?
Or whatever it was. It was like 404 error, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, this cannot be happening right now. I'm like, I'm on 3 different vices. There's no way when is this coming back?
I had a party.
I'm eating. I'm eating. I'm full. I'm ready for the battles. And I'm like, how long do I got to watch this Mike P battle again?
I was trying to convert some casuals, and they're like, this is what you guys watch.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I mean, and that was a dope battle. And I'm like, yo, this is the 3rd time this battle's coming back up. I'm like, I can't do it no more. But, and we were just sitting there going like, yo, who the fuck is attacking a battle rap like server? Like it was just nutty, man. Like it was crazy. But kudos to you guys, and kudos to them for like sticking it out and making it happen and still getting it to us live. As angry as soggy as we were,
the dark net of the battle rap world.
I got my deep dark conspiracies about certain
things. We're not gonna go there, but
we're not.
But we know there's a dark net of the battle rap world. We know that you guys exist.
Listen, we want no problems.
I want no smoke.
I want no smoke.
I want no smoke.
I want no smoke.
We're not even on YouTube. You can't flag us. We good.
Thanks, man. But I mean, an hour and a half, 2 hour delay, but. Shit, man. Kudos to y'all and kudos to the MCs and shout out to Cortez and O-Red for bringing life back to that thing, man.
They said, clear.
I was like, all right, I fucks with this. We back, man.
What's been your favorite event this year to cover?
Oh God. So all right. Okay. Gnome was insane.
It looked amazing.
That's
the best event this year.
I was just gonna say, hands down. Is it without a doubt that's the best event so far this year, right?
I think so.
Fire. I mean, you could easily make that argument. Like, I mean, really, like I really mean this when I say this. When I'm working at the event, I know if it's trash and I know if it's amazing and everything in between. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to make sure the microphones work. Like, you know what I mean? But. By the way, I have nothing to do with initiation. I was not there.
Oh, okay. You're like that wasn't me.
Fucked up initiation. I was not there. I was not there. People were DMing me during initiation going, JB, what's wrong with the mics? I don't know. I am 2 time zones away. I cannot help you.
Another parallel. You weren't there and Twerk wasn't there.
Oh, weird.
You conspiracy? You conspirizing?
I'm just showing the parallels throughout their careers. He made a big debut at the Born Legacy, and so did Twerk. And now, you know what I'm saying? You weren't at initiation. Twerk wasn't at initiation. That's kind of crazy, man.
No, my rise is a much more subtle one than that gentleman. That guy is the beast. But the energy at Gnome was insane. Electric. Like, and I've been to, I've done the Irving Plaza stuff a few times now, and done the big ones, and like that. I'm not kidding. I think that was the most overwhelming energy. Like when Smack came out, and it was just Smack. Like it wasn't a battle at all. Like Smack just came out. The sound that came out of that crowd was...
It's like Jay-Z came out, man.
Like, terrifying.
It was electric, B. It was, and then when Tech Nine started singing and the crowd started singing along, I said, "Oh, we gonna have a good time tonight, man. We gonna have a real good time."
Yeah, that was super crazy, and it was like the staff. I mean, everything went well. Like the staff there really helped us out. Like they were super pro, which is amazing. Like me and Avocado are sitting there going, God, this is like they really care if this happens, because we do certain events, certain places. I'm not naming any names, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, the stuff's over there, turn it on or whatever. We don't know. But we had a whole support staff from that place. So Houston definitely has to get another URL.
They need an encore.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They need an encore.
I like
and that night had a lot of upsets. That night was just so great.
Sorry, go ahead.
That night had so many upsets too, and that night was so great.
That was a great night. That was the most.
It was a beautiful night.
That was the most fun I've had watching a pay-per-view this year, man. Like
Yeah.
I felt completely except for one battle on that we think we know what we're talking about, but other than that, everything was just right, man. Like it was just a great night. You know what I mean? Right. But talk to us about the technical side of that night, though. Like, okay, I understand you do the sound. We know the microphones are on, but I know it's so much more behind that and making sure things sound right. Like, what's the steps? What's the process?
That's crazy you mentioned that. Not to cut you off, but now I'm remembering that night barely really had any technical difficulties.
Exactly. And that when you don't notice it.
There is one glaring technical issue from that night, at least as far as sound goes. I don't know. I couldn't watch the feed, so I don't know how the feed was working out, but I'm sure all of that was perfect.
What was
there
that?
was one, I'm laughing because I know this thing I'm about to tell y'all is that there was one glaring huge audio problem that happened at that, and it was the first battle.
Mm-hmm.
Loso walks out, the crowd loses their mind, right?
Uh-huh.
They flipped the coin, or I forget how that part worked, or if he just wanted to start. He gets like a word and a half out, and his mic stops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the first battle night.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, like the way we look at it is that first one, that's where we figure out everything that could possibly go wrong, and then we smooth it out, and we just go. Right?
Yeah.
The tester battle.
But, so here's what happened. So I had put brand new batteries in his mic transmitter.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, they were just no good. So it showed up at full power, and then I'm looking at it. I can see the battery power. It goes from 100% to 0.
Damn.
Immediately. It goes to nothing.
Wow.
Right. So they all of a sudden the entire city of Houston goes, boo! Like they are going to kill me, right? Loso turns to me, yeah, man, just come here. I swap out his battery real quick, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. Fire. Boom. Let's make it happen. These batteries are going to work. About, I don't know, 20 seconds later, he starts up again. Gets about a sentence and a half in, like 1 1/4 bar, right? Into his shit. And I'm not going to say who, but somebody's bodyguard decided that it was their time to be at the front of the crowd. So this man walks past me, bumps the whole table that I have set up with all my audio gear, bumps the table, and then just kicks the power cord out from under the thing.
God, man.
Genius.
And he doesn't notice. He doesn't nothing. I'm not going to say who, but that's immediate, right? So Loso's looking at me like he is hanging there in front of the biggest crowd he's ever rapped in front of.
He's like, you're trying to set me up.
Yeah, right? Like, I'm sure at that moment, like, he's looking at me like,
y'all making me do a PG for
either
this?
you are trying to kill me or not, but like I need you to save me right now at the same time, right? Like I have his career in my hand, or at least his mental state in my hand, right? Because he still has to, like, we have to figure it out, and then he has to do 3 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Scotty's at home, so he's comfortable, right? So it's
Scotty's like, yeah, y'all figure that out, man.
Really happened. Say what?
Scotty's like, yeah, y'all figure that out over there.
Yeah, y'all figure it out. I'm just gonna hang out with my people and
sip this drink.
And so whatever, I get it plugged back in, get it on, and Loso, super pro, like got his, he did his numbers. And that was the only problem we had that night. But the way that ended was me almost fighting that bodyguard. I'm not gonna lie. That really actually,
wow.
There are people who could vouch for that moment. Like,
oh man,
they're like, you can't fight a bodyguard. I was like, I might. Like, it could happen.
Like, just give me a 6-pack. I'll show you. Damn, there's only a couple of people who can have a bodyguard on that stage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just do it in my mind and figure out who that bodyguard was for. But we ain't gonna bring it out here.
I'm not trying to start rumors. We don't need to embarrass anybody.
That's hilarious.
But I'm just saying, there's
Yo, but you know what's crazy? That's the same thing that happened at what was that event? Direct was I think it was a Rap Grid event, and it was a big battle I wanted to see. Was it Austin and Lux? And like literally someone kicked out the cord, and like you couldn't see the third round, and I was heated.
Oh
as
yeah,
shit,
you couldn't see the third round.
and I was like, wow,
That's
man.
right.
Like you could prep for everything, but like that simple human error where someone just literally steps on a cord, you may not even notice that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not fully
I've
paying
said it.
attention,
Battle rap is
man.
the only thing you can do over 1,000 times and never perfect.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, no, it's pure chaos. Like there's a certain you just have to accept it. Like they're like anything that you plan for, it's the thing you weren't paying attention to that will go wrong. Like there's no way to account for somebody's bodyguard knocking my shit off. Right? There's no way to. No, that's not part of it. You know what I mean?
Do you guys?
And that's why, like, when I said the thing about initiation, it's not even shade. Like, I don't know who that poor bastard was that was having to deal with whatever those audio issues were at initiation, but like, I had nothing. Like, my heart was breaking for whoever that was, because I know the panic,
right?
Because there's however many thousands of people watching that stuff,
Right.
and basically the whole planet worth of battle rap fans is looking at you. They don't even know who you are, but they hate your guts in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, you
Wow.
know what? You're actually making me remember. With that, I think they had a change of venue. Like I want to say within like a week or so out, and the usual venue they had with the usual sound setup, it just wasn't the same. And I guess the guy just wasn't, acquainted with that. And actually, this week we had another sound debacle with the Ohio card, and they had a sound man hired who was supposed to be cool with that club, and then last minute the guy had to go on tour with like I guess like a whatever music band,
Right.
and they got the local guy who's never been to that club before, and he's just like and people paid for the pay-per-view, couldn't hear anything until like one battle or whatever. Like that's gotta be so disheartening for a sound guy.
But even if you come to the venue hours prior to the event, is there no way to?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there any dress rehearsal?
Oh, for me, there's a huge one. Yeah, like me, Avocado, Jeff, them guys, like we get in there dumb early. I actually fly out like if we have an event on Saturday, I usually fly out Thursday night. That's because in addition to all the chaos that might happen while the thing is actually going on, you have to take into account the United States airlines industry,
right, yeah.
and how you might just get hung up in an airport for 12 hours.
JB, I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Listen, I've been traveling for years, and never have I had a delayed flight. But the first time I traveled for battle rap, my flight was delayed from like 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. I could not believe this shit.
Tell me about it, my guy.
It's like the airline knows. Oh, this is for the battle rap event, right?
They are RNT anyway, man.
No, it's a setup. They're doing something because I travel literally about every week to do filming and stuff. I make documentaries and commercials and stuff. Right, that's my day job. And I'm flying every day or every week. But it's only literally the first ever significantly delayed flight I've ever had to deal with was Born Legacy Supreme 2. I sat in there for 7 hours while they said the flight would take off any minute. Damn. And then after 7 hours, they canceled the flight.
Wow.
And I switched over to Delta. Chico bought me the most expensive ticket in history, and then that flight was delayed for 2 hours. That's why I was not there.
Did one of you guys piss off one of these girls at Delta, man? Like what did y'all? What did y'all do? Y'all talk to somebody's girlfriend at Delta? Y'all stole somebody's girl or some shit? Like they're like, oh, this is a URL event. Cancel the flight.
Yo, that's crazy, man.
I'm fairly certain in that moment, so I'm on the call with Chico and Beasley, and I'm fairly certain if Beasley was on my end of the phone that there would have been someone at Delta in a full MMA armbar, getting choked out, and we would have had a private flight to to Raleigh that night.
Wow.
Damn, man.
They were so tight about it. We all were, and that's why I fly out Thursday.
Yeah,
we don't even mess around.
It makes sense because I mean, without you guys, nothing's going down. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't gonna get any audio, any visuals. So hey, get them in town a day early. Get them some massages. You know what I'm saying? Some champagne and all that. You know what I mean? Make sure the boys are well taken care of, because you need that thing sounding crispy, man. Now, going back to the rehearsals, do you take each battle rapper, get their levels down, like, and also like what goes into the bass, trebles? Because we got studio rats who listen to this show, and little knob tweakers and all that. So I'm sure they want to hear from your end of the things. Like, what are some of the technical aspects that goes into that? If you can talk to us about that briefly.
Yeah. I don't want to bore the not lunatic nerds out here, but I'll touch on it a little bit. So the biggest thing with battle rap is basically we do the audio all wrong in every, like, no, like if you went to audio college, like I went to college for audio. If I told anybody who taught me what to do over the years, what I do, like how we do it now, they would be pulling their fucking hair out. It's a ridiculous way to do it, right? So we use, because of the nature of the performance, we use lavalier mics.
Right.
Lavalier mics are not meant for live performance.
Right.
That is not the way to do that. So they're the kind of mics that pick up everything around you, right? Mm-hmm. But nobody wants to hold a handheld mic, right? A handheld mic would work really great, but it would take away so much from the performance.
Summer Madness 1.
Say again?
Summer Madness 1.
Facts. Yeah, right. And you see what was missing in that.
Right.
But yeah, so we basically do it wrong, but we do it the way we do it. Like I said, anytime we're in a pro place like Houston, they're going, wait, you do what now? And I have to explain, and they're like, yeah, but why don't you do it like this? And I'm like, because we don't do it like that. That's really the only answer I have. Like, we're not changing now. Like, this is established. This is how we do this. Mm-hmm. You know, we've had the ones where people tried to do the Bobby Brown, my prerogative mic. Like,
Chicago mics.
Shit looks crazy. Nobody wants to see that.
The McDonald's mics.
Right?
Facts.
So basically what on the technical side, what we have to do is damn near disassemble what a usual live PA system is, which is usually there's, if you go to a big club or a venue, there's big subwoofers, usually down on the floor level. All those either get taken out or just turned off, depending on the size of the venue. Right, because all that low end, that's not doing anything. None of those tones are in somebody's voice.
Right.
So all it would be is a way to get really nasty feedback. So that's all gone.
You hear that, small leagues listening? You hear that?
Yeah.
All you technical guys who think you can do it, take some jewels from this. Learn something.
Yep. I'm teaching a class here, kids.
Talk.
So and no monitors. Right? That's the other thing. They're like, well, yeah, so what do you want in the monitors? Nothing. We don't want monitors. Because, again, it's just another way to end up with a bunch of feedback. So all we have is outward-facing, like, standard audio spectrum speakers going out to the fans.
Right.
And that's a complicated way to do it, because you can only get so loud before those, even with those speakers, you can only get so loud before those start feeding back too. And that's why when people are screaming, make them louder, it's like, nah, that's about it. Like, that's what you're gonna
shut
get.
Up. That's what we gonna do.
Yeah. Right. And if you notice, like, if you guys you see, this is a little behind the scenes, a little jewel. If you guys watch the pay-per-view and you hear people saying, turn him up, turn him up, turn him up. The next thing you'll hear me do is turn it up and give a little bit of feedback so that they understand, like, that's it. That's it. Like, that you can hear, you want to hear feedback for like a second and a half? There you go. How was that? Was that great? No? You're gonna have to shut the fuck up now.
Nice,
Like,
nice.
That's the rules. But what it does is if you learn to embrace all those technical challenges, what it does is it actually makes life in that venue super dope because people actually have to pay attention.
Right.
We're in a bar, you know what I mean? We're in a venue where people are drinking alcohol all day. These events are dumb long. Their inclination is to talk and try to pick up women and shit. But they can't. They don't get to. So they just have to pay attention all day. Which is also the same reason why they boo when they don't like the shit. Because their legs are tired and they've been trying to talk to this girl forever, but they've been trying to whisper, which doesn't work. You ever try to pick up a girl whispering? That's just not gonna work.
Yo, what's up, baby? Yeah, you know, it's like, oh shit, that bar just landed. Yo, what he said?
Yeah. You want to sound like a predator? That's just, hey, come here, let me talk to you real quick. No.
I know you one of the only 4 girls here at this event. You know what I'm saying? And you really ain't that cute, but you got a vagina, you know. Yo,
hey, shout out to all the female battle rap fans. Like the numbers have been going up. We've been seeing a lot more ladies at the venue, which is nice.
Thank goodness.
And they're brave too, because can you imagine being a chick and walking into like a 2,000 person venue and you're like 0.01%?
Shouts to Norbs. That PG event in Atlanta had the most women I've ever seen in my life at an event. I was like, whoa!
Right? Battle rap stepping it up, man.
Two things I wanted to point out when you broke down the whole like technicality of like the rehearsal.
Yeah.
It is interesting, right? Because in a sense, like when I guess like artists are like rehearsing for their concerts, they can kind of practice their material and their songs beforehand to see how things sound, right?
Yeah.
In battle rap, since the content has to kind of be secluded to that moment and it can't be shared, there's no way the artist can really practice.
Maybe they practice their old bars.
No, I mean, there's nobody at least not so far. No battle rapper has ever come to me and said, I want to try out my bars on the stage while y'all are setting up. Nobody's ever asked for that.
Oh my God. In all these years, no one's ever done this? I'm walking out the studio.
No, not ever.
Oh my God.
That's it. I'm walking out. I'm done.
Yo, this is crazy. Hold up. All this time when we talk about dress rehearsals, I'm thinking like this is something that happens. They get out there, they test it. No one has said, yo, let me see how I'm going to sound. I can't believe this, man. That's crazy.
No, not once. No, I've never had.
Does that surprise you?
I would do it. You know who tests the mics?
Who?
JB tests the mics. I do.
Wow.
I put the mics on and I just yell things. I just get real loud.
Dirty.
Avocado talk back, and I'm going. Avocado.
JB's like, I haven't slept I'm gonna sleep 2 hours.
Yeah, my favorite thing to yell is I got no bars. That makes everybody laugh. I just go stand in like a huge empty venue and go, I got no bars.
Yo, that should be a PG's job.
I might have to title this episode I Got No Bars.
Yo, they should just get the lowest ranked PG, just make them rap up there for like test all the levels out and shit.
Just test the shit, yeah.
That's crazy.
No, man, it's me.
Wow. I would have never thought that, man.
So PG events must be spectacular. There's no microphones, a small crowd.
Right?
Dude. Okay, that does bring up something for me. I feel like the PGs, and I understand on a certain level, but I feel like the PGs are getting a lot of flack these days. If you've ever been to like a legit like Honeycomb Hideout like PG event, that shit is amazing. There is a fantastic energy in that.
Yes,
and I don't know why
you can feel it from the screen.
Battle rappers start shitting on that. Like, I don't want to do a PG. I don't want to go to Honeycomb Hideout. Like, I don't know why. That shit is more fun than the main event half the time.
It's egos, man. It's egos, and then sometimes you hit certain stages, and you're like, I don't know if that's the look for me. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's all about the matchups, you know, and if you can get two decent names in that atmosphere and they can put on and show the guys who are coming up like, hey, there's levels to this, all right? I know y'all doing this. Let me just give back to the culture one time.
You know what I think?
You know that That could be dope.
I think the one thing that turns people away from a PG card and also from a regular battle rap card is the length of it, man. Like
that's true,
like,
bro.
I don't know. What are we gonna?
I'm not watching 9 battles, B.
When are we gonna finally say to ourselves, as a human brain, 5 battles is
only
enough?
So many bars you can have.
Because after 5, something's gonna get sacrificed.
Facts.
Something
no,
has.
you're preaching to the choir. Like that's the thing I lobby for more than anything.
That's why Gnome 5 is my favorite Gnome. It's 5 battles.
It was good.
Yes. No, I'm you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who's a bigger battle rap fan than me. And when we're heading into like the 6th and 7th battle, I'm like, cool. So, like, who wants to go get dinner? Like, I'll care later.
Making Uber
probably,
plans already.
But like right now, let's just not fuck it up and let's go. So I can't even imagine the people who, they paid their cash and they've been there all day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're in an era now where we have to
mess up. They roast you and they want to. Like it's a sinister energy in there when you mess up late in the evening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the era now where you have to start putting your main event as soon as possible.
Well, not for nothing. That's why we gave Hitman so much props at SM7, and we were even talking about the champion of the night. And it's like for him to face Tay-Rock, who's a legend,
The face of the league.
the face of the league, and for him to go last
After not battling in so long.
and still put on and still have that energy and still bring that crowd back to life.
No offense to him, man. It's after a night of a lot of bad performances
Right,
too.
exactly.
So like it's just those little factors being the main event. It's like people say I want to be the headliner, but then it comes with the curse of like, damn, I have to go last. Now I have to really fight for my performance.
Right, and then that's why like when people sleep on guys or give them slack, I'm like, do you guys know what he just did? Like, this crowd was ready to go home a long time ago from what happened earlier that night, and he's got everyone going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I have no problem with that opinion. I also feel like JC and Iron bringing the crowd back and making them care again, like that's something that I haven't heard anybody mention. Like,
actually, Fran said it. He said,
I was big on that.
Actually, yeah, Fran said that on this show that was the make or break. Like, if they didn't put on, like, that could have broke the night, and they literally saved it. He said that was the battle that saved the night because it could have went left. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if they were champions of the night, but they were a hero of the night. Saved the whole shit.
Facts. Yo, you got to be proud of your St. Louis guys, man. Hitman taking out Rock and Verb having the most talked about battle thus far this year, man. Did you get a chance to peep that?
Yeah, of course I did.
What'd you think about it, brother?
Go ahead.
What'd you think about it?
Oh, what I think about it? All right. People keep saying it's the old Verb is back. It's not the old Verb. It's just the best this Verb. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's not a negative thing. Like, I'm just saying that's a different dude, but he was solid. Like, he was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't think anybody thought that Mook could take that kind of damage. I don't think that was something that anybody was really thinking about.
Not like that, man. He put blood in his mouth and got a clear round from him for sure.
Yeah, he did. What? So have you all argued that out yet? How are you scoring it?
No, we were in the building and we were blown away. It was electric. It was just like it's an hour and a half battle. And you don't feel like you're there for an hour and a half at all.
Amazing.
Like you're just enjoying the ride for what it is. And ultimately, after the second round in the building, we kind of like looked at each other like, hold up, is Verb up 2-0 right now? Like, are we gonna say 1-1 for the sake of it? Or like, or are we really being realistic? And then when we got the playback, hit the game tapes, we finally hit it. Like, you know what? Mook came to entertain, and he did. He did great. I enjoyed it, but Verb was able to entertain and be direct, and lead the tempo at one point, which nobody expected.
And he was juggling them flows, man. And he didn't just have typical pay Verb content, like he really brought it, like, and he came and did it in New York, hostile territory, hands all over him. Like he could have, I'm not gonna say he could have folded because he's one of the all-time greats, but that was some unique circumstances, man. That was a lot to.
If you were doubting Verb before that performance, you can no longer doubt him.
Yeah, no, I back up that sentence. Like it was a beautiful thing. Like it was amazing to see him, that he had all that in him. because you don't know, like nobody could have said for sure that Verb was going to be like that. We hoped, everybody did, but we didn't know for sure he was going to bring that. Because I was there, I was there at Summer Madness, at a Smack Volume 2, and his bars were dope, but he was quiet. Have you ever heard a quiet Verb? He was quiet in that room.
You know what's ill? I think I was telling France this. We got I love his lyrics and his flows in the twerk battle, but his energy was low. I felt like he brought the same things, but just brought his energy way the fuck up in the Mook battle. And it was like, yes, if he would have did this to twerk, like it would have been way clearer. I think that's why we didn't.
That's why we didn't envision Verb being able to reach that potential, because his last 4 or 5 performances,
he's just been chill.
Yeah.
But he stopped. He stopped getting that poontang for a month. Man, got his aggression up. He said it. You know what I'm saying? He put that down, got his aggression up, and came out on fire, man. Like, I could only give kudos to that.
It honestly made me look at the twerk and Verb battle differently, because I think if I look at it in the light of this last battle, what I start to think is that Verb having that kind of quiet energy but still bringing like super bars was like a strategy, maybe. Like, I wonder if it was a strategy that he was like, all right, I'm battling twerk, so maybe I can, like, take that energy and, like, Bruce Lee style, just kind of spin it back on him. Like, if I don't react.
Literally spinning with his fingers and all that.
We're doing the finger twist right now, Verby.
Yeah. I'm not saying it worked, but I'm wondering if that was the idea.
It could have been. It definitely could have been, man. But much props to that dude, man. That was a great energy, great vibe, man. I was just glad that I was fortunate enough to be up in there, man. Like, it was fantastic.
Honestly, at this point in Verb's career, I think the only thing left for him really is Lux, and if not, maybe one more echelon battle like that, and then he could probably bow out. Yeah. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. What's gonna happen when these guys are gone?
It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, man. Like, Mook orchestrated his first battle in February 2009, and now Mook was damn near probably the biggest battle of his career. Right. 9 years later.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm happy. I'm happy. You asked me if I was happy about my St. Louis guys. I'm definitely happy about my St. Louis guys, because there was a period of time where, well, a lot of the vets were, but Verb was an archetypal example where there was like a lot of paycheck battles, and I always used to compare it to like a lecture circuit tour, like you're a famous person and you get this like weird check where you go to these college towns or whatever, and you battle like the local guy, and they go, oh cool, and there's like polite clapping and like, oh yeah, remember that one bar, that was pretty good, and then everybody sort of goes home. Like, it felt like that. It felt like people were monetizing previous work rather than like putting in completely new work, and this feels like new work.
I'm so grateful for St. Louis in the battle scene, man. Like, Verb and Hitman being one of the most viewed guys, and having 4 out of the top 5 URL battles most viewed there are his battles. Yep. And Verb doing all the things in his legacy, opening the doors, being the first guy from St. Louis to battle. And I said it, Verb and SB was the last real like street battle of that era. Like, that was the closing chapter of it all. And even though Young Ill was in his prime, had the potential, we never seen it, he's unforgettable in battle rap. And then,
absolutely. And
then you have B Magic, who's damn near probably one of the best punchers.
You can't erase him from,
even though he's fallen off as well. But in his prime, there's nobody that punched like him.
He's left his mark.
He's left his mark. Like, where every people, he didn't have a 4-bar setup to the punch. He had a punchline. And another punchline that was better.
With
and another punchline that was better.
With rhythm.
And another punchline with rhythm. Like, you could put a beat on and have B Magic rap. Like, that was amazing rapping.
Special, man.
Yeah. No, it was a beautiful thing for a while to be a St. Louis battle rap fan. Like, cause you just named them all. And like, you can't even discount, like, it's hard to call them second tier, but like that next, like Remy D, that's a St. Louis dude. Like, that's part of that St. Louis battle rap culture. Like, he comes out.
He's part of that fiber for sure.
Yeah. And that's not no dude to sniff at. Like that's a serious battle rapper right there. Super bars.
Yeah, man. It's just, and it's crazy that when I think about all that, they all came in 2009. That's why I think B Magic is also very special when you think about it all, because when he was battling early Street Status days, he really wasn't.
He was just him.
He wasn't. It wasn't that yet. And even from Street Status himself, like I didn't think he was gonna be that good. And then as time progressed, like look where he came out to be. And even though he like always respected Verb and had a good relationship with them, but he was like never with them. Like you never saw like all four of them as like one unit. Like it was them and then B Magic on his own. But B Magic also created his name, and they're like, you know what, you're from St. Louis too, so we're not gonna bash you. We'll just all live together, even if we're not in the same clique.
Yeah, no, he was a separate entity, but he continued a certain legacy from them, and he took that baton and ran with it. Didn't he?
Sure did.
You ever think about that him and Khan battle? That's ridiculous.
Man,
I could watch that battle right now and geek out by myself. I love that battle.
He's had so many, and that's what's amazing about him. He's had so many performances you can reference. The Iron Solomon performance, the Daylight, the Charlie Clips, the Chilla Jones.
He's got a lot of special performances.
Even the real deal, even though such a style clash, but that's what made it amazing.
Fun,
it's so many, man. There's so many that you can go back to, and I love St. Louis battle rap.
Rich St. Louis history, man. Damn, man, and we made St. Louis history tonight, man. Having our man JB on the show, B.
JB, who's next from St. Louis, man? Before we wrap things up, who's next?
I have no idea. I know what's happening in Kansas City these days. Oh is the one, like they know what's happening in St. Louis. I don't know.
Well, we do got that guy KD.
It's gonna be something.
KD has a PG, and he's over there out in St. Louis. He just battled JC.
Okay.
He's battled Hitman, and he's looking pretty good. He's got a PG.
$1,000 battle.
Yeah, he's $1,000 battle. And this PG card looks deep, so hopefully we get some talent out of there, man. You got Jada Nightwing, KD, Don Marino, Apollo, So Severe, Re-Up Snub. There's so many guys. It's like, you know what? This could be it. So hopefully KD, he has a lot to he has a lot of shoes to fill in, but
yeah. No. There's some definitely special dudes in this PG class coming up. There's going to be a lot happening.
Thanks, man.
And he could definitely be one of them for sure.
JB, man, how excited are you that the URL is coming back to New York?
I cannot tell you how much fun that's going to be.
Man, I mean, no spoilers. I don't want you to get in trouble or anything like that, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you? You know, please, man, let us know, because New York, we understand, all right, Smack, we get it, brother, all right? We took certain things for granted. You were in our backyard the whole time, and we're just like, oh, whatever, we catch Smack, whatever, we catch him. Then you went on a tour all around the country, and as New Yorkers, we started getting a stank attitude. Bring it back, Smack, and you didn't come back, and now you're coming back.
New York shit, we won't appreciate you till you're gone.
Oh, man, and thank you for coming back, Lordeth Smack, all right? We will not do that to you again, man. How excited are you, brother, to come back to the Mecca of battle rap?
No, I'm dumb excited. I can't be more excited. Like, it's been unbelievable being on the road and doing all this road work. Like, it's crazy. It's a beautiful thing to run across the energy of different places, Raleigh and Richmond and Houston and Vegas. Like, cause it's all a Smack crowd, but like I don't know. There's something that's very universal about what we do. And there's something just a little different flavor every place we go. But yeah, it's New York. What are you kidding? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and like, no, it wasn't a punishment. Nobody was trying to punish New York like fans at all. But it was just time to take the show on the road. You know, like it was the right thing to do.
No, facts. I'd love to see the company grow. I'm just kidding anyway. Like they've got to take it around the road. They got fans everywhere, and it was great to see them go. But you know, as New Yorkers, we missed it. You know what I'm saying? So we're just happy to see it back. You know?
I could argue a lot of the best things have happened away from New York, right? A lot of amazing things have happened away from New York.
You got to test these guys.
Go ahead. Be controversial. Let's finish it up with some nasty stuff. What do you get? What didn't New York get? That was a classic moment.
I think New York missed out on Surfing Big T, but that was very. Yeah,
that's got to be way up on my list of stuff I wish I was in the room for.
There was only, I think, 13 people in that room. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Obviously, I'm glad the St. Louis battle happened in St. Louis, but I'm sure they would have loved to have taken it over here, right? And I think Nome too. I love that it was in Chicago, but I'm just sad that the event
that one should have been in New York.
That I'm sad the event wasn't technically like in place yet for it to be the way it was. So like a lot of those battles just fell on deaf ears. Like Big Cannon or Red's an amazing battle. It's just hard to audible. JC and Clean. I mean not John and Don and Clean is a dope battle. JC and Young Cannon's dope battle, but you know.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie, man. That event when those videos came out, that was the first time I ever reached out to URL about doing sound. I was like, let's hey, I'm this guy, and like, I'll make that sound work. Nobody wrote me back, but I worked my way in. Took a couple years.
That's ill, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Well, JB, my brother, we're about to wrap things up. Talk to us. Let the people know where they can find you at, where they can reach you at. Let us know what you got coming up. Talk to us, brother.
Yeah, so I can't divulge everything, but there's you're gonna see some surprises coming up. The PGs that I did the live stream for, we're gonna be releasing those one by one with a whole new color grade and making everything look.
PG events should be streamed more often, by the way.
Yeah, sink or swim.
Yeah, that was our first experiment doing that, and that was the first full live stream battle event that I directed myself.
Don't even give him two camera angles. Just give him one.
Say what?
Don't even give him two camera angles. Just give him one.
I don't do that. I can't do that on the live stream. You got to give, even on the face-offs, I do two. I do at least two. Like, you got to give them the full. Got to give them the full.
Yeah, man.
You got to make these people appreciate the production value. That's what we've been talking about all night. You got to make it special.
Facts, big facts, man.
But yeah, so that stuff's going to be coming out. There's more ciphers. We didn't talk about that, but I'm the director of the Goonies cipher and all that stuff. The ciphers you've been seeing this year, and we've got a whole nother collection of those coming out that we shot in Richmond.
I've been seeing more battle rap ciphers.
Yep. I love seeing those. Like as a fan, I love seeing those. And then we got some little surprises that I'm not allowed to talk about, but there's definitely some cool stuff coming, and obviously we're gonna be in New York dumb soon, and when I get there, you owe me a bagel.
Say way less.
Say less, man. We're gonna get you a fancy bagel, man. On that note, give the people your Instagram, your Twitter, where they can reach you at, where they can follow you.
Yeah. I'm on everything at Rap Battle Cast. You can always hit me up at jb@urltv.tv if you just want to talk on the old school email thing.
Man, got the official URLTV email. That's big, player.
I'm smack URL all day.
That's big, player. Damn, man. Well, JB, man, we just want to thank you so much for your time, brother. We learned so much, man, and I'm glad you came on this podcast to share your story.
We'll do a part 2 soon.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Our doors are open to everyone listening. If you want to email us at letstalkbattlerap@gmail.com. Follow the show at LTBR Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me at Program V on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, you've been tuned in to Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast, and we'll see you once again. Peace.